Probably one of the first mods that every new Jeep owner installs or looks up is off-road lighting. It's the big elephant in the room, and it's probably one of the most debated topics on the internet, especially YouTube. If you guys known me from previous channels, you know that I've installed pretty much every brand, every major brand, and even the cheaper lights on my off-road rigs. I have a ton of experience when it comes to the wiring, the quality, the capability of these lights, and after all those years, all the installs, all the technical details behind them, I've come down to my decision that I will only be running one brand of lights. That brand is Diode Dynamics. Now, what I'm going to tell you with this channel, it's kind of neat. I can tell you exactly what lights I run, what brands I recommend, and why I personally recommend them. I'm going to start off this one too by saying Diode Dynamics hasn't paid me to do this video. Justin over there at Diode, one of my good friends. Now, we have an extremely good relationship. These guys, when I tell you their service, their customer service, their quality, and everything is top notch, I really do mean it. So if you're looking at the title of this video, it's not meant to be misleading. It's to try and show you exactly how well these lights are and why I won't be running anything else on my brand new Jeeps and on any other Jeeps you see me or Ryan owning on this channel. A little bit of backstory on Diode Dynamics. Probably the biggest thing and one of the most meaningful right here are both of these two logos assembled in the US, and they are SAE and DOT compliant. Now, Diode Dynamics over the years, I believe, began in about 2006, and you've probably known them or heard of them in the beginning if you were replacing halogen bulbs on a vehicle back in the early 2000s. So if you had an F-150, if you had a Mustang, things like that, they sold LED replacement bulbs for your halogen bulbs, so to give you a much crisper, a much cleaner look. Now, I'll tell you, over the years, most vehicles have gone LED, and I think what they did is they shifted from an already extremely successful model and moved to the off-road industry because they figured, why not? We're doing so much in the LED game, we can pretty much disrupt or fill a void in the off-road lighting industry, and that's exactly what they did. There's a lot of cool things that Diode Dynamics came out with, but probably the coolest thing for me is that the people and the guys that work over there, they're just extremely humble and they're great guys. You know, when I represent a light, when I want to represent a brand, I want to be able to back them up and know that if you call them or you have a specific need for, even like this one here, the SSC2, where it's a cut in half standard cube light, they can fill those needs with a ton of different optics and a lot of different features on them. So when I talk about filling a void in the market, I like the fact that Diode answered the problems to the off-road consumer. So when I say that, this light that I'm holding in front of me is basically a half size of your standard cube. Now, they first created this because there was a need for a thinner, a slimline light that you could use on a roof rack. You could do low profile up on the A-pillar, or maybe you wanted to throw a couple of extra lights on the hood. The neat thing that I found with these guys is they offer a wide variety of different driving patterns. There's almost so many of these lights, it was hard to keep track of all the stock numbers on them, but they offer a ton of varieties depending on exactly where you need the light and how you intend on using it. Probably the coolest thing for me though, like I just mentioned before, when a consumer asks a question or has a problem to be filled and a company like Diode fills that or answers it and doesn't say, you know, I don't want to do that because maybe it doesn't make us so much profit, maybe it'll lose some of this. I like when people or companies take the initiative to really answer what the consumers want, and they did so. This was one of the first ones that they kind of introduced after their original cubes by splitting it in half. Now they're up to a ton of different varieties. They've got one that even splits this in half. It's the SSC1, so if you need like almost a quarter or $half size light, they offer that as well. And also their big boy SS5 lights, which I'm hoping to get a set on my brand new bumpers when they come in here. Those have backlighting, all different features on them, but they answered all of these questions. They answered all of the problems, and I really can appreciate that. So mixing all that together and then adding a great person to talk to on the other end of the phone, it's kind of a no-brainer with these lights. So let's show you an example of the quality. I'm going to open up this set of SSC2 Stage Series lights. Now, first off, these are the DOT compliant lights in the amber finish. Now, what's extremely nice about these is, I mean, first and foremost, the overall quality, how everything is cast with those heat sinks in the back too, to disperse a lot of the heat on there as well. I really like the fact that on most of these, they are backlit compatible. So this one has an amber full-time running light, but then there's also an amber backlight. So if you turn it around, the coolest thing for me, and over the years I've really appreciated this, is this built-in Deutsch connector into the back of the light. Now you might be thinking, Matt, why is that a big deal? I mean, who cares that this is built into the back of the light? So here's one of the pigtails as an example. This will easily clip right back into there. Actually, I say easily, but they are weather tight, so you hear that click on there. But when you have this running into the back, you've just extremely reduced the amount of wire that you have to tuck into tight. Cowl panels run through to your battery. And what I found with a lot of the other brands, since they had a pigtail coming off of this about 10 inches, now I had to find a way to connect that underneath the cowl panel, run it underneath the hood. And sometimes, I know personally on my JKs, if the pigtail wasn't long enough, I would have this giant Deutsch connector pigtail out there, and I really just didn't like the look of it. It didn't look clean. So with this, you can buy them just with these standard pigtails or with an entire harness. But overall, I really like the look of that too. It gives it a much cleaner and more ergonomic look. And plus, you can't lose where the Deutsch connector is. So if you ever want to disconnect the light, it's as easy as pushing that in. And now the light's disconnected, you can swap a new one out into it. The build quality of these lights and everything that you can get with them, they're just awesome. You know, there's nothing to it. You can pull these outer sections out, even paint match them. And then the nice thing with these is they have different levels. So you have base, you have pro, and then now you even have a max, I believe. You can choose the light output, the beam direction, the beam style, the backlight color. You can customize these to exactly the way that you want, which I think is awesome on a light like this. You know, I can use these wherever I need to on the vehicle. They've pretty much added an ability for me to put any size light exactly where I need it. And overall, the quality on these, I mean, you can't feel it, I'd hand it to you, but they're just awesome. They're built extremely well, and I can't say enough about how good these look on the vehicle. They're an OEM plus, and how well they will perform when you're running them. Now, the reason I wanted to bring up these lights today is just to talk about, I mean, of course, all their quality, all the reasons I plan on running them on my Jeep, and of course, the reason why these will be the only off-road lights on this vehicle. Now, the thing for me is that I'm not gonna be keeping a lot of this stock, so like I mentioned before in the previous videos, the front plastic bumper will be going. This is gonna be soon gone off of this vehicle. When I decide to show you guys the bumpers I do have on order for the front and the rear. Now on those, I plan on running those bigger SS5 lights, which I don't have yet, but I really wanted to get the larger cube to help fill in some of that space on the front bumper, and due to the fact that the ones that I have coming in do not have the factory fog light options. So I'm not gonna be able to reuse my factory fogs in there. I will be using aftermarkets, and I'll probably wire them right into that H13 or H4 or whatever adapter it is to the front fog light wiring, so I can still activate it using the factory switches. I plan on running some on the A-pillars here. I will get some brackets and probably be putting those on too, but you guys will have to wait and see exactly which ones I decide to go with. There's so many options with these lights. I really need to dial in what I choose for up front, what I do on the A-pillars, and then maybe I'll even throw in some in the reverse, wire those all up, and give you a couple of tricks on how to wire them up. We've got a lot of cool things coming, especially with the new JLs and the fact that we have factory auxiliary switches. I'll show you how to wire them up, where the wiring is located, maybe even a quick hack for the rear on how to easily wire up reverse lights with kind of a product that I've been designing and created a little while ago. So you guys are gonna have to stay tuned, but in this video, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Diode, and I think there is every reason for you guys to go on and search these lights, pick up a set for your off-road rig, or maybe even your on-road rig. These guys literally have everything you could ask for online. They have factory fog light solutions if you don't wanna go aftermarket, and they've got all sorts of wiring options for you to just plug and play or wire it up completely custom the way that you need to. Now, hopefully by now we have a coupon code on here to help save you a little cash on this vendor that I can say is one of my top tier. They're my preferred, they're my go-to guys. So until next time, my name is Matt from Dirt Road CRED. Get out there and earn yours.